first person in the room to recognize that was dug up here by Jeff.
Oh, you can't hear it? Hold on. Is that G minor? I feel like that's G minor.
Aaron, you amaze me.
Every day, every time I come here.
I nailed it.
It's DJ minor.
I've been studying.
DJ minor. Anyway, one of our favorite folks is in here today, and I got to say, he is doing so well in learning English. It's unbelievable. Michael Francis, the music director for the Florida Orchestra.
And I arrived at the music of Dies Irae, Day of Wrath, Day of Anger.
It's
brilliant.
intense.
Isn't it? It's amazing. This is the Verdi Requiem. I've entered here before to Darth Vader. I've ordered all sorts of things, but this one is the most powerful piece of music you'll ever hear, and it's going on this weekend.
And, you know, the only thing that can make a concert by the Florida Orchestra even better is when you bring in the master chorale. And
Yeah.
I was able to see them there one time in a rehearsal, and boy, that's mind-blowing.
When you have 80 musicians and you have 120 people singing and 4 soloists, when they all go full power, it is goosebump city. I mean, it's city. You are covered in goosebumps. It's so exciting. And that's the whole wonderful joy of hearing live music. And when you come and hear the Verdi Requiem, I mean, that piece of music is used in so many movies. You may recognize it from Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous
Mad
film.
Max.
Yeah, that wonderful apocalyptic scene when they're chasing each other across the sort of the desert.
Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very fitting for that, too.
Isn't it just? Well, the music is designed to represent the Day of Wrath when we all get judged. It's really ultimate power. And Verdi was the great operatic master. So when he came to write this music, the Requiem Mass, he brought the most incredible operatic angle to it. So it's extremely beautiful, extremely quiet, extremely loud and exciting. And if you haven't experienced anything like this, come along on Friday, Saturday or Sunday, because this is something that you do not want to miss. Last time we performed this was a decade ago.
Is that intensity, does that sustain throughout the entire night?
You cannot imagine how exciting it is live. I mean, I know you mentioned about someone being hit by a puck in the Lightning game. Well, that won't happen here. You might get a flying baton if I get overexcited, but that'll be about it.
A flying baton.
Yes, like a cheerleader, unfortunately.
It's like the bouquet everyone's going for. It's mine, it's mine.
Well, the amazing thing, when you see this orchestra, they make it seem so simple. And Michael is up there directing them. And of course, I watch rehearsals, and sometimes he'll turn to somebody back there. I don't know who that guy is. You turn around to look at every now and then. And,
oh, yes, that's one of my minions in the back.
but then one time we were there when you were rehearsing with the master chorale, and man, that just blew your mind. I've forgotten what you were doing.
Carmina Burana.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. And Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. You're used to this, Jack. You've heard many now. You've come along with Joy and heard it. Isn't it just the most extraordinary experience?
Oh, it is. It is unbelievable. And then you've got the pre-concert talk, because then you get into some of the things that we bring up on the air about the music itself and about the artists and about the performers and that kind of thing. And
that's really fascinating. And actually, this concert in particular is amazing. So during the Second World War, in the terrorist and concentration camp, the people who were in there, the captors, they learned this music from a single score and sang it to the Germans. So
Really?
They sang it as a way of showing that they would not give up on life and that they will not be downcast. So there's the most incredible story. And we've partnered with the Florida Holocaust Museum. So Beth Gelman and our CEO, Michael Pastrike, will talk about this and the relationship of this. It was called the Defiant Requiem.
Is that where that power comes from?
Well, this piece was written much before that, but they used it to say to the Germans, you cannot ruin our lives. You cannot kill us. Well, you can kill us, but you can't kill our spirit. And that's what's so astonishing about this, how they used this piece of music to symbolize life. It's a thrilling story, so I encourage you. Each pre-concert talk starts an hour before the normal program.
I'd never heard that before. That's an amazing thing.
There's a YouTube video, The Defiant Requiem. I really encourage people to watch that.
It's incredible how music, before the days of television, social media, how music could influence life like that.
Well, it still does. And I think about another concert we come up afterwards with the Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 4. We have James Newton Howard, who is one of the most preeminent film composers of today. He wrote Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, Pretty Woman.
The good Batmans.
The good Batmans, exactly. Exactly. The Hunger Games, and he's written a violin concerto for, we have an international superstar living in Bradenton called James Ennis, one of the great violinists of our age. And he's going to come and perform this violin concerto written by James Newton Howard. And that's in May 4th to the 6th, a really fantastic piece of music, coupled with Tchaikovsky's epic, exciting, brilliant, terrifying, and moving Symphony No. 4. And that's the thing, when you hear an orchestra, but when you see an orchestra, and you share it with your friends and your colleagues and your family, and you watch it together, it's just one of the greatest experiences we can all have in this rich life that we have.
Oh yeah, when you bring the visual along with the audio, it's incredible. Listening to a record is great, but put it in the background or something like that. When you see it, it's mind-boggling.
And the Verdi Requiem we have this weekend, which, Friday in Tampa, Saturday in St. Pete, and Sunday in Clearwater. There's one moment in it when you have the trumpets behind your head playing, and it's the music which the trumpets sound and the dead will rise, and the trumpets on the stage are answering, and then the choir come in. I mean, I can sometimes barely conduct it because I get so excited. It is beyond thrilling. And so I encourage you to bring your friends, bring your family, take a date, come along. You will have a wonderful time.
And kids, too.
And kids, yes, because if you're under the age of 18, then you come for free with your parents.
And this is going to be the 20th. It'll be at the Straz. The 21st, that Saturday, will be at the Mahaffey. And then the 22nd, it'll be at Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater.
Right. That's right.
And Michael, right here in our studio, Michael Francis, the music director of the Florida Orchestra. Good to have you back in the country and all that stuff, and thanks for stopping by. Great
pleasure. I think I will now see you in the autumn, so I wish you all a very dry and cool summer.
Oh, yeah, cool summer. You know how cool it'll be. And thanks for bringing your video group down here as well.
And if you want to see all the information as well, floridaorchestra.org, everything, floridaorchestra.org.
Thank you all.
The 50th season for our Florida Orchestra. They've been here longer than I have by a couple of years.